Good morning, Rabotai. We're in Siman Sadi Bet. The Shulchan Aruch writes in Seif Daled, צריך לרחוץ ידיו במים אם יש לו, ואם אין לו צריך לחזור אחריהם עד פרסה. והני מן כשהוא הולך בדרך והמים נמצאים לפניו. אבל אם צריך לחזור לאחריו במקום מים עד מן חוזר, הוא יותר ממיל אינו חוזר. Okay, so the Shulchan Aruch writes, a person needs to wash his hands with water if he has for the tefillah. The Mishnah Berurah says, if you want to understand the reasoning of this, look in Siman Bet in the Mishnah Berurah. So over there, that's the Mishnah Berurah talking about washing your hands in the morning. In the morning, when a person does Netilat Yadayim, everybody knows when you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to wash your hands and you're supposed to make a bracha on Netilat Yadayim. Now, the reason for that, there's two reasons brought down that the Mishnah Berurah brings down. There's also a third reason, but the two famous reasons that are brought down is the Rosh. The Rosh holds that a person's hands are askaniyot, they're moving around when his person is sleeping, and therefore it's very likely that he touched the cover part of his body. That's why you need to wash your hands in the morning. And according to the Rashba, the reason is because when a person wakes up in the morning, he's a Bria Chadasha, he's a new creation. And he's like a Kohen that's going to do his service in the Beit HaMikdash. We know the Kohanim, when they used to start serving in the Beit HaMikdash, they would wash their hands from the kior, from the special sink in the Beit HaMikdash. And that would be we're coming like a Bria Chadasha, we're coming to serve Hashem again in a new day, in a new morning, and therefore there's an inyan to wash your hands. So, from what I understand, the second reasoning applies also before praying, right? If a Kohen, before he started the Avodah in the Beit HaMikdash, he would wash his hands, so that means every time a person is about to begin his own Avodah, by Shachrit and by Mincha and Arvit, like the Mishnah Berurah points out, it's not only by Shachrit, even by Mincha and Arvit, a person should wash his hands as a preparation for the Avodah that he's about to begin, and that's the idea of why we wash our hands. Now, the Shulchan Aruch goes so far to say that if a person's on the road, he has to go until a parsah, up to 72 minutes to find water to wash his hands. So it's very chamur to be able to go. And a person, if a person, he doesn't have to go back. He has to go back only up to 18 minutes. But the point is, it's a very serious halakha, and most times a person does have the water. Most places have water, and a person should definitely go out of his way to wash his hands. It's a lot of people are not makpid about this halakha, but it's really mamash meforash in the Shulchan Aruch that a person should wash his hands if he's able to. Now the question is, if a person washes his hands in the morning, and then he came to the tefillah, does he need to wash his hands again a few minutes later? So that's what the Shulchan Aruch discusses in Sif Hey. He writes, "V'chatzi yadav shachrit." The person washes his hands in the morning, ve'siach da'ato, and then he had hesach hadat, which means he got busy with other things in between. He needs to wash his hands again for tefillah. Right? Tzvichim netilat tefillah. Im yesh lo mayim. Even if you don't know, you look at your hands are clean, they're not dirty, but maybe you might have touched a covered part of the body, you might have scratched yourself, you might have had to touch your shoes or something like that, and therefore your hands have a status of dirtiness on them, and therefore a person should wash his hands if there was a hesach hadat. So if a person goes straight from the getting up in the morning and washing his hands and then going straight to shul and starting to pray, okay, there's no hesach hadat over there. But if a person, let's say there was a 2-hour break in between the time when he washed his hand the first time in the morning to the time that he actually started praying, this hesach hadat, he did other things in between, he took care of this, took care of that, until he came to pray, then over there was hesach hadat, and therefore a person has to wash his hands again. And so this is a kol shekin for Mincha and Arvit, right? Mincha and Arvit, the person washes his hands in the morning, maybe 8 hours ago, and he's praying Mincha. He has to go and wash his hands again before praying Mincha, because mistama during the day he touches parts of things that you need to wash your hands for, and therefore it's a very important halakha to make sure to wash your hands before praying Shachrit, Mincha, and Arvit. If a person's in a rush and he's going to make the Mrs. Man Tefillah, then a person can just wipe his hands on the table or something that's going to clean and wipe his hands like this. Make sure his hands are clean. B'diavad, that's also okay. But the chatchila, a person has the time, he should wash his hands before praying Shachrit, Mincha, and Arvit.